Welcome to Supers Live. This is the Super Modified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series, and we are live for night number 1 of the 16th Annual Summit Classic here at Madera Speedway. I'm Bob Gamer. I'll be your host tonight, and we've got some fun races going on tonight. It's NASCAR Heat Night Monday, Madera Madness, and we're just going to have some fun here this evening. Before we do that, though, we want to welcome everybody in. Want to welcome in especially a couple of new guys joining us here. Danny Ray out of Goshen, Indiana, and Bandit. You've heard his name a couple of times this year, and Jeff Bivens as well from Heat Finder. Glad to have those guys here. Cal Perry in with us here tonight as well, because our first race is the Cherry Breaker 63. There's no time like the first time, they say. And that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek deal as we wish these guys the very best of luck as they go for their very first SUPRS Winged Super Modified feature win. This is an opportunity for drivers. We do this twice a year. We do it for the non-wing season and the wing season, and it's for guys that have never been able to win a feature. There's no judgment on them. It's just, hey, sometimes it's tough when you're just getting your start. Sometimes it's tough if you've been racing for a long time. But this gives them the opportunity then to win their first feature. So it might look a little wild and crazy out there at Madera, the fast third-mile home of the Super Modifieds on the West Coast. Great shot there from our video producer, Hairbag Studios, and Kevin Timmons of Madera Speedway, built for Supers. And we just hope that you enjoy watching our show tonight. As we go along tonight, we'll remind you that we will have a longer broadcast, because after this race, we'll go to the Modifieds. We'll switch servers. We'll stop the broadcast, and then we'll restart the broadcast with the Modified Tour, the Super Heat Modified Tour, coming up after we run the Cherry Breaker 63 here at Madera. So you want to keep your eyes peeled to the Supers broadcast channel throughout the night. Don't forget as well, you can follow us on our social media channels at Supers Online for Twitter, at Supers_online on Instagram, and Facebook.com/Supers Online for Facebook. Also, don't forget our YouTube channel. We'll have all of tonight's action up on there probably before tomorrow morning. You can go to youtube.com/user/Supers Online Racing. Speaking of YouTube, you need to check out our YouTube Real Super Modified Racing channel. We've got over 650 real super modified videos, and right now the top of the list is stacked with Madera Speedway action. We've got vintage stuff in there from Madera. We've got more recent stuff, including the latest Harvest Classic in that playlist. You can see in-car, out-of-car, just some great stuff. And if you want to learn more about super modified racing, that's a good place to start. And you can see the real super modifieds at Madera Speedway. If you want to do an even better job of getting up to speed, if you've never seen the Ultimate Short Track Race Car before, go to supers.net, click the About tab, and then click Super Modified 101. That's where you're going to get your primer on the mighty Super Modifieds. There's no two alike, no other race car in the world like it. This rare, exotic, and ground-pounding race car produces some of the closest hard-stopping action around, and it rightfully lays claim to the ultimate short track race car. That's supers.net/site/about. Learn about super modified race cars. Click on Super Modified 101. You are going to get a really good education there. We've got pictures. We've got video that'll teach you more about this wild race car that's found in pockets around the United States, including California, Central Valley of California. Very popular. If you were with us last week, you got to see some of what we do is try to educate people about the real super modifieds. And we did that with the Golden State Classic at Buckley Speedway, and that was a heck of a race. Now, Buckley Speedway is a fictional track, but what that race was all about was basically teaching people about the real Golden State Classics that ran in the 70s with over 100 entries per race for about 4 years, 5 years from 71 until about 1976. It ran 7 nights straight, sometimes twice in one day. They ran dirt, pavement, quarter miles, half miles, high bank, flat, you name it, they had it. Rear engine cars, roadsters, upright San Jose coupes, just anything you could shake your fist at, and had the greatest super modified race car drivers and race car drivers, period, from across the country competing in the Golden State Classic. Well, last week we ran the virtual version of that, and Keith Powell came out as the winner. Rocket Rob Warren was second. Bob Gay was third. And I'm going to tell you something. It was one whale of a race because Carl Bonsai Becker, the elder statesman in Supers competition, over 70 years old, led a good portion of that race and finished in fourth. So it just goes to show you don't have to be a young gun if you want to go super modified racing. You can be an old guy too and have a good time. In fact, one of the members in here tonight going for the Cherry Breaker 63 win is over 70 years old, Danny Ray out of Goshen, Indiana. We're excited to see him in here competing for, it'll be his first super modified race. Well, folks, let's tell you one real quick before we get ready to go with your starting lineup for the Cherry Breaker, that if you like to make a donation to help out injured super modified drivers, you've come to the right channel. Go to our website, click the donate tab, and it'll tell you a little bit about what we do and why we're not your average online gaming league, and we're completely different than any other super modified sim racing league out there. We raise money for injured drivers. Your donations give back to the drivers, teams, and families of super modified racing in their time of need. We just want to remind you to never give up. Now, we just sent some money out to Jeff Russell in Boise, Idaho, who's continuing to heal from traumatic brain injury he suffered in a super modified crash at the Bull Ring in 2010. Very grateful. Got a note from them today that they're happy to have received that cash.